What is up, world? I am back with another video. For those who do not know, I am Cyrus McCormick, licensed real estate agent with Moultrie, Murphy, and Bergen Realty Group, located in Buffalo, New York. So I am here again to talk about one of the most important aspects of home ownership: getting the money saved up to actually buy the house. So this is one of the most common things that I see as an agent when it comes to helping people prepare for home ownership is the savings. This is something that I struggle with myself. How do you save the money? How much money do you need saved up? Those are questions that need to be answered, that needs to be tackled. So this video is going to talk about the importance of savings, because in more cases than not, you do need to have some money saved up to buy a house. Yes, you do need your own money. There are grants that are available, 100%. Can we look at seller concessions to help bring down your out-of-pocket costs? Yep, absolutely. Those things are there to help, your out-of-pocket costs. But you still need your own skin in the game. The banks want to see that you are able to save. They don't want to lend to someone who does not have a healthy, savings habit. If they see that you want to buy a house, but you struggle to save up anything, they need to see that you're able to save. It's important. One of the biggest things that is part of this process is paying for prepaids. What are prepaids? Depending on who you're getting your mortgage through, an appraisal fee. That's one of the things you have to pay up front. You got to have some money set aside for that. Your closing costs through seller concessions, usually not going to cover that, because you got to pay those prepaids up front. Credit report fee. If you do a home inspection, you got to pay for that up front. So you do need to have some money that is set aside for the purpose of buying this house. And another thing that I always talk to, potential buyers about is you don't want to have all of your savings dedicated to the house. You want to have separate savings from the money that you're setting aside for a house. You need an emergency fund. You say we do buy this house, right? And you put all your money into buying this house, and then a couple months in, your furnace breaks. You don't have any money to pull from. So having an emergency fund is important. Life is going to happen. Life is going to life, as some people say. So you need to make sure that you have some money set aside for those things. So, practicing savings is important just for life in general, even outside of the purpose of buying a house. It helps you with your, habits to have good financial health in general. You have to have an honest look and approach when it comes to your money. Have you actually looked at your bank account statement? Do you know where your money's going? I can speak for myself. There was a point in time when, I would look at my account like, where's my money? Like, I know I'm making enough money to get by and have some extra. Why am I broke? Where's my money at? For me, it was eating out. I looked at the amount of money that I was spending on restaurants, DoorDash, Uber Eats, all those things. And I said, that's where my money's going. I'm spending too much money on this food and these frivolous things, going to buy drinks and all that. And it adds up. You need to be able to take an honest approach to your finances. Look at your bank statement. See where your money's going. That is where your savings come from. If you're taking vacations constantly, if you're going out to eat all the time like I was, you might need to scale that back a little bit and be able to, allocate some of that money to saving, whether it's saving for a house or just saving in general. Saving is saving. But you have to be able to know where your money is going to figure out a plan to put in place to save. So just going back to my original point, you do need money to buy a house. Yes, there is help there for you, but the banks need to see that you're willing to put in the work to save. I always tell people it's better to oversave than not have enough to buy this house. So I would love for you to save a whole lot of money and we not need all of it. Great. That's the best case scenario, because now the money you save for this house, you can just go into your regular savings. Or you can put it into a repair that you may need in your house, or an upgrade. You want to fix your kitchen? Cool. You got some money set aside for that. So really make sure that you put some focus and some emphasis into saving. It is so important to do that. You know, I'm making this video mid-January. You know what's right around the corner? Tax season. To my people who get tax returns or tax refund check, think about saving it instead of just blowing it immediately. As we know, life does life. So we know that some money needs to go towards those things, absolutely. But take a second and think about saving. Making sure you put some of it away, even not all of it. Just make sure you're putting some of that aside and not blowing it right away. A great investment, real estate. So if you ever thought about buying a house and you did not have the funds, or you didn't think you had the resources to do it, use some of that credit return that you're getting. Bring it over here, put it in the bank, come talk to me, and I'll help you on that road to home ownership. But I really made this video to stress the importance of saving. It is vital. It needs to happen. In order to get you from A to Z, from renter to buyer, we have to make sure we do get some money set aside for you. Hopefully we don't need to use it all, but we do need to show the bank that you are responsible financially. You do have the ability to save. So that is my short and sweet real estate tip of the day. Again, I am Cyrus McCormick, licensed real estate agent with MMB Realty Group. And I am so excited that you came to watch this video today. Please like, share, subscribe to this page. Weekly videos drop on here. A lot of content coming your way. So please tune in with me as much as possible. If this helped you out, share it. I'm sure there's someone in your friend circle, your family circle, who needs this information as well. So thank you again for tuning in with me this week, and I will see you all on the next video. Save that money. It's important.